35's Manny Martinez was in Taylor County, close to the eye of the storm. He joins us now this morning. Once again, Manny, what I was so struck by in your earlier reports was when it was dark, we were kind of anticipating what daylight was going to bring, right, in terms of damage. When we came back to you in the daylight, the damage was not as extensive initially as you thought it would be.
Yes, so where we are now, we have found a remnant of a roof here, and it's actually from a church a block away. So this mangled metal here is probably one of 2 or 3 instances of this that we have seen throughout this entire town. And that is not nearly the same amount that we saw last year. We definitely saw more of this last year. And so this coming off in this street sign, green and orange street that you see right here, that is a block away over there. We are in the downtown area. There's another building with a roof blown off. I was told by the man who lives across the street that it was first torn off during Idalia, and then it was not fixed, and Helene came in and finished the job. It thankfully didn't hit a home that's right next door. But those are some of the instances of the damage that we have seen here that is the most extensive, and thankfully we haven't heard any reports of any injuries associated with any of this damage. But you can imagine this came in with such a force, and I'll show you some of that force, because if we look across the street, that is a part of this roof that came from a block away, and it is wrapped around this pole right here. We'll walk across the street here. People are starting to come out this morning just to get a look at what happened overnight. But look at this. This is a clean wrap around this pole. That is how strong the winds were last night, that they managed to wrap up this piece of metal and do a full lap around the pole. So people, as they have been coming out, we've seen them stop and take pictures. We've also seen a city truck that was out here earlier. It is parked in a lot a few blocks away, but it has some damage. A tree fell on it, or a pole fell on it. We've also heard of another church. A lady came by and told us that her church also took on some damage. Thankfully, like I said, we haven't heard of any people injured from this storm here or from any of the damage. People are starting to clean up. We were in some of the neighborhoods a little bit earlier where some of the homeowners are just starting to just clear the branches off the streets, put them into the grass on the sides, and just starting to clear even their own properties from some of that debris. We also saw in the last hour when you were with us, there was a tree that was on a home. Thankfully, it wasn't through it. And we also see lots of trees all over power lines, power out here all across town pretty much. Last night we found a bank with a generator running, and that's where we hunkered down. That was pretty much the only place in town with lights on. The hotel where we were staying at, which wasn't all that far from that bank, probably about a mile or so, didn't have any power. Didn't have power when we checked out this morning. The lady at the front desk says that if it's anything like last time, it'll probably be a week, and last time being Idalia. But this area, resilient area. The parts that we were here and saw last year with some damage, some of them took on a little bit more, but most of them seemed to have been sturdied up, fixed up, and strong enough to take this Cat 4 right on the chin.